What's going on, guys? One love out to everybody. We got UFC Fight Night, Lewis versus Teixeira. Predictions breakdown here, guys. Before I get started, hit that thumbs up button. Also subscribe to this channel. Also check out my Patreon account for my facial prediction and prop plays. You can also donate to my PayPal account, or the links will be down below. You can also check out my second channel, Wayne Gitchy, for my health and wellness tips. Alright, let's fly into this real quick here, guys. 6 p.m. It's going to be over there in Tennessee. 12 fights in this card. It's been a while, but we're keeping our discipline and staying consistent like we always do, right? That's what we're doing. And once you stay consistent, can't lose. You versus you. Let's get it. First fight on the card here, guys. We got Fatima Kline versus Melissa Martinez. Kline here is going to have the 4-inch of height, which is massive. She's well-rounded. Decent with the striking, but her ground game is where she usually shines. I believe she's a BJJ black belt also. Did look good against Jasmine for fighting up a weight class there. I believe she was at 125, I believe, against Jasmine, and she looks pretty good. You know, she didn't, and she held her own, right? Let me see here, but Jasmine had a bigger frame. You can tell just the frame of Jasmine in that fight was like massive. It's like a huge, weight difference as far as a frame. As far as Martinez, Melissa Martinez, your karate background, kickboxing kind of vibe. The sister of David Martinez, her brother. If you guys know who David Martinez is, he's pretty good. He's a pretty good prospect. Works off the movement pretty well. Let me see here. Striking is pretty good. Similar. I wouldn't say similar to her brother, but I think not judging her into that. I think her brother, is a little bit more skilled, more technical. But she can still get caught though. You can still back her up eventually. She moves around, like I said, use her footwork to set up strikes, but she don't really pack power like that. But she could pepper you with enough points, and if the opponent is in a relationship with her movement, that's when she may have a little problems. Can get backed up against the cage, can tie her up in the clinch, and these things. This is a tough one here. I mean, I could see Melissa winning actually. Just from off of touching her up and just the movement and the footwork. But Kline doesn't look bad with the striking. Kline possesses some movement too when strikes. I'm gonna push towards Kline here, guys, but this fight here, it's a tricky one because, like I said, I could see Melissa actually winning it, but I feel Kline could be a little more well-rounded, so I'm pushed towards Fatima Kline. I'm gonna say Fatima Kline by decision, but it's a 50-50, guys. I'm not confident in this one. Like most of the women fights, like I always say, can go anywhere, man. All right, next fight we got Mike Davis versus Mitch Ramirez. Davis is a very skilled dude, man, but not too active, Last fight was against Zayn, which he lost that one in 25, and beat Native Levy in 2024, then before then, 2022, didn't fight 2023, He's just been on and off. His ground game has been getting a lot better, though. Been looking for more submissions there, but his striking is where he usually shines at. But against Zayn, he just wasn't on. He looks lost against Zayn. Looked like he wasn't in the fight at all. Like he couldn't get it started. He was trying to grapple too much and then gas himself out. Let me see here. I mean, against, like a guy like Zayn is a pretty tough guy. It's not an easy fight for anybody in that 155 division, right? So, against his opponent here, Mitch. Mitch is well-rounded, will mix it up, look for takedowns, but he slows down, doesn't check leg kicks, can be hittable at times, lost in the Contender Series and also lost his debut. So they got a loss in Contender Series, but he got a chance. I guess it was a short notice against Thiago and lost that fight. Yeah, man, I'm liking Davis in this one, guys. I mean, like I said, if Davis comes in there the way how he usually looks, because again against Zayn, he didn't look like himself at all against Zayn, man. He looked totally off against Zayn. looked like a completely different fighter. He was like, I'm not sure what his game plan was. He was trying to grapple a lot. Maybe he didn't want to strike with Zaim because Zaim is known also as a good striker. So maybe he was trying to just go for, I guess, Zaim's weakness, which is not really Zaim's weakness too much anymore because Zaim has improved on the ground defense. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Davis. I'm going to say Davis by KO TKO in that third round, guys. I give Davis 60% for this one. I give Mitch 40. Like I said, when it comes to these fights now, I'm kind of, stingy with the percentage of the guys winning, because a lot of these fights nowadays, they're very close. Even when you look at the odds are totally off on a lot of these guys. A lot of the guys shouldn't be so high on the odds. But I go Davis. Davis KO TKO in the third round. Next fight, we got Kenny Nzechukwu versus Walter Walker. Kennedy, well-rounded, move up to heavyweight. But he can drop the ball, though. He's going to have the 5-inch of reach, which is massive. Kennedy's not a bad fighter. He looks actually good at heavyweight. He's been winning so far, Against Walter Walker. Walter Walker, he looks like he's been pushing a lot of heel hooks lately, like that's his thing. He's want to get heel hooks. So he more wants to push the ground, with wrestle you, take you down. More BJJ guy here, but will strike. But I don't think his striking is on the level of Kennedy. But his ground game looks decent, so he will look to take you down. Now, it all depends on Kennedy. If Kennedy defend those takedowns, which Kennedy can, but Kennedy is a guy that you can't really trust, man. So this is a fight where this is definitely 50-50, and I could see Kennedy dropping the ball. I'm going to go with Kennedy, but don't be surprised if Walter submits Kennedy. Probably could be a next heel hook again, or some other submission. So I'll be very careful. Or Walker take down Kennedy consistently and win off of points, or a close split decision. So I'm going to go with Kennedy just for more experience. He looks good at heavyweight, but I'll be very, very careful with this fight because Kennedy will drop the ball. All right. Next fight, we got Lauren Murphy versus Eduarda Moura. Lauren Murphy is back. She hasn't fought in a while, though. Last time she fought was 2023. Coming off a loss against, I believe it was Jessica Andrade, which didn't look good in that fight at all. She looks slow, hittable. She looks like total decline. But she's tough, though. She's durable, tough. Take a lot of beating. She will put a pace on you, put pressure on you. But it seems like her reaction time is just not there. For myself, from her last fight against Jessica, it just looked like she was just slow, hittable, not reacting, not defending too well, just more hittable. But she'll put a pace on you, but against Eduardo, Eduardo is coming from BJJ, striking is is getting better from her last fight that I saw against Veronica Hardy. She's been looking better with her striking. Very athletic and explosive, and she's going to be massive, for that 125 because she moved up to 125. She was at 115, so she won't be huge in this fight. I just feel like her athleticism, timing, speed, her also durability, I see Murphy just didn't look good in her last fight at all, dude. So I'm gonna go with Eduardo for that. I'm gonna say Eduardo Moura by decision, guys. But I'm not confident. Like I said, women fights, not confident. And again, you look at Murphy. Murphy's a veteran. And if you look at Eduardo, he hasn't really fought nobody, really. She fought Hardy, Veronica Hardy, but, she lost to Dennis Gomes by split. Before then, it was Ruiz, then Contender Series. He's not really tested, but Murphy's I think it's like a 1 foot out the door. She just didn't look good against Jessica at all, dude. She looked like a Elkins, like a Darren Elkins, man. All right, so I'll go with Eduardo. This decision, like I said, I'm not confident. Next fight, we got Jake Matthews versus Chedi Nzechukwu. Jake Matthews, super veteran guy, well-rounded, will put a pace on you, experience, skill. He will make this fight a dog fight, and he's not going to give up, and he's not going to back down. Chetty, on the other hand, Chetty moved down to 170, which he looks good at 170. Hardly loses at 170. He lost him. Hold on. This is Jake I'm looking at. Chetty looks good at 170. He was, I believe, he was at 185, I believe, and he moved down to 170, which he hardly loses at 170. I don't think I found a fight that he lost at 170. Maybe 175. Yeah, man, it's 7-inch reach, which is huge. Nice in the clinch, knees, elbows. Got a teep kick up the middle. 4-inch of height. This guy's going to be hovering over Jake. But he'll drop the ball, though. And that's the thing. He'll drop the ball. And Thai style, you know, he kind of straightforward, kind of square. You know, if you can circle lateral on him, you know, you can touch him up. You can also get him down, you know. But his state on defense looks good at 170. This is a tough one, man. I mean, Chet is a veteran too, you know, but this is a tough one to call. I just feel like Jake is. I said Jake is a little slight more not experienced. I want to say Jake is a little bit more well-rounded, I should say. You know, Chetty has the ground too, but I just feel Jake mixes up better. You know, I just feel Chetty is just teep tick right there in front of you, and I just feel Jake, if he can utilize lateral movements, pick his shots, he can pull off a win here, unless Chetty, you know, finishing by knockout, which is possible. But Jake is durable though. But I'm gonna go with Jake. I'm gonna say Jake Matthews by decision, guys. But it's a 50-50. It's an even fight. All right. Next fight here, guys. We got Chris Curtis versus Max Griffin. Chris Curtis, he moved down to 170, I believe. Yep. So a lot of these guys on this cards are either moving up or moving down. I guess Max Griffin, shell defense, Philly shell boxing, kind of roll the shots, kind of like his homeboy there. Forgot his name. You know, he looked for the knockout, very experienced. You know, this guy is pretty skilled as far as, you know, boxing. You know, sometimes he can get a little bit flat-footed because of that stance he has, but he'll walk you down and put a pace on you. Max, on the other hand, Max is skilled too, but man, his last fight, because a lot of times I try not to judge these guys after the last fight, but you know, that's, you know, the last fight shows a lot. He got submitted by Makhachev. So, you know, Max is well-rounded, experienced, veteran, you know, can be hittable at time, but he's durable, he'll keep a pace. But I just feel like he fights in the pocket, he fights right there. And if he squares off with Chris, that's where Chris want to be. You know, Philly shell, kind of roll with the shots, uppercut, body shots. Fits into Chris' game, you know. Max is like, can be hittable at times, but Max is hittable. You know what I'm saying? So this fight fits Chris, you know. Max will move around, you know, but I just feel that, you know, Chris, I just feel this is a fight for Chris to win. You know, the way how Max fight, it just fits for Chris to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, it play right into Chris's game. So I'm going to go with Chris. I'm going to say Chris by decision. But this fight here against Max, it's an even fight for me because Max, you know, is a guy that, you know, you count him out. It's like an underdog guy, you know, you count him out and he comes back winning. He finds a way to win. He's going to lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. You know, he could win against Curtis, man. I mean, but his competition, you know, there's some decent fights he has. But I feel Curtis has a little more tougher competitions, you know, like, you know, Brandon Allen, Kevin Gastelum, Jackie Mershman, Joaquin Buckley's, you know. So, but I'm going to go with Chris, but I would not count out Max. I'll be careful. All right, so decision by Chris. Next fight here, we got Junior Tafa versus Toko Tokos. Tafa actually moved down too, from heavyweight to light. He's at 205. He looks in shape. He looks in shape for this fight. He looks in shape. He cut a lot of weight. In the last fight, he was at 241. You know what I mean? So he lost a good amount of weight, almost 30-something pounds. He looks good. He He looks good from what I see of his, the Instagram and social media. Kickboxing base, power, can get taken down though. He will gas out, but then that's at, you know, heavyweight. You know, supposedly, usually when you cut, you know, when you get in shape, you should have more conditioning, better cardio, quicker at the movement, and he was already kind of quick at heavy. But I mean, we see what happened. His opponent Toko, Toko can get flat-footed at time. You know, lost the Contender Series. You know, I'm not too high on Toko. I feel Toko is due to get hit. I mean, it's a fight for Toko. You know, if he comes in there and he's in shape like I see him, and he put everything together, he can get a first round finish. So I'm gonna go with Tafa by KO TK in the first round, guys. I'm not, from what I see from Toko, I don't really see anything that really stands out too much. You know, he would throw punches, kicks, and everything, but he has a lot of holes, I see. You know, I mean, even though with his takedowns, he will like go for the takedown, but then they abandon it, like he stops. You know, like he doesn't really drive through. You know, and yeah, he just dare to get hit. So I got Tafa by KO TK in the first round, guys. But it's still 50-50 because, again, Junior Tafa will also drop the ball. He will also gas out. He just don't know. He's dropping weight. You know, he should look better dropping weight, but you don't know. He probably could gas out 2 in the first round. All right. So Tafa by KO TK first round. Next fighter, Vitor Petrino versus Austin Lane. Vitor's the next guy. This guy moved up, though, and he looks massive. At heavyweight, he looks massive. He moved up from 205. He looks massive, but he fills out though. It's not like he's like a sloppy heavyweight. You know, he fills out. Athletic, explosive. Look for the takedowns. Pack power. I mean, he looks in good shape, man. Austin Lane. Austin Lane he's very hittable dude. Pack power, but he will drop the ball. Drop the ball bad. Can get knocked out. He's that guy that's only won one fight against Rubles. Against Rubles this Spain, you know, against Tafa was a non-contest. Remember that they lost. So these guys like you can say he's 1, 2, 3, 4. He's on 1 and 4 in the UFC. Yeah, you know, not counting the Contender Series scores, you know, which he got a win there. But it's one of those things where I feel Vitor should get a win in this one, man. Vitor more athletic. Vitor has more attributes. He's more skilled. You know, he got caught, you know, by what's that dude? He got caught by Dustin Jacoby, but the entire fight he was winning, and then he slipped up. You know, against Jacoby, you can't slip up against a seasoned kickboxer because Dustin Jacoby's a seasoned striker, and he slipped up. He like stayed in range, and like, you know, he's coming to the end of the round. He's like, oh, I'm just going to the third round. Coming to the end, he's like, I'll just chill there. And then Jacoby blitzed in and caught him. He wasn't expecting that because Jacoby didn't do that day. I feel Dustin Jacoby was setting that up the entire fight. He was waiting for the right moment to catch him with it. And unexpected techniques are how to counter. If you're not expecting that, and you know you've been winning first round, win second round, third round, you know I'm gonna win. Then boom, you caught him, and then that's it. That's just how it goes. But he should be prepared for this one. I like Vitor. Vitor KO TKO first round. I give Vitor 60%. I give Lane 40. Next fight here, guys. Let's see. We got Nate Landwehr versus Morgan Chariot. This is a tricky one, man. And I was kind of going for Morgan in the beginning, but when I watch Morgan fight, you know, he's skilled, athletic, explosive, but can be hittable. You know, he's well-rounded. We look for takedowns and everything like that, but he doesn't. He will do a little bit and do some striking, but then he slows down quickly, and then he just like doesn't really do much. The volume is not there, and he just kind of like does touch here, there, but he doesn't do much. Against Nate is a wild dude that's gonna put a pace on you, and he's gonna keep coming, or unless you finish Nate, or you knock him out. So this is a guy that he is hittable, can be predictable at times, but he got striking, he got grown. You know, takes a lot of damage, can get flat-footed at times, but he would put a pace on you and keep on going and keep on going. I feel with Morgan will slow down. You know, Morgan slows down, and then he doesn't do a lot. And if Nate keep putting a pace, touch, I feel he can get a win here. You know, I'm not sleeping on Morgan. Like I said, Morgan is skill, but I just just from watching his last fight against Wood, I know that's Wood, but but I just feel like if Nate can, put up a pace, all you gotta do is just throw, and avoid getting caught. I feel Nate could win, even though Nate is hittable. But I'm gonna go with Nate. I'm gonna say Nate by decision. And this is a 50-50 fight, man. I feel this fight should be even. It's a 50-50. We can check out the odds after. I know I can check them out in here, but we're gonna save it for the crazy odds. But I like it, Nate. Nate by decision, guys. Next fight, we have Calvin Kattar versus Steve Garcia. Calvin Kattar is well-rounded skill, but he just keep doing the same thing every single fight. He walks it on, throw. No, it doesn't really connect. Hasn't had a finish since 2020. His last finish was against against Jeremy Stevens in 2020 was his last actually elbow ground and pound. His last finish, like KO TKO. After that, it was just like downhill, like back-to-back losses. It's like I don't know. It just does the same thing over and over again. It's like after the knee surgery, he even declined more against Arnold Allen. Steve Garcia, I feel Steve Garcia is improving. Every fight I see, he improving. And finishing his fights. I believe he has like 2 by decision or something. I could be wrong about that. I think he has like 3 by decision. But it's hard to pick Calvin Kattar because he's not improving. He's like doing the same thing, and then even though he's fighting tough competition or some tough competition, but some guys he's fighting tough competition. He's fighting tough competition, man, but still, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good in the fight, man. It's the same thing over and over again. At least with Garcia is fighting tough competition too. Wo Choi, Kyle Nelson, and because this Acosta guy who's been actually winning now. He's in a 4-fight winning streak. Yeah, man. I'm liking Garcia, man. I just feel Garcia, would mix it up more. I feel with Calvin Kattar, it's same thing like the boxing. Boxing is great, but you just rely a lot on this boxing. I feel Steve Garcia would just mix it up a lot more. I'm going to say Steve Garcia by KO TKO in a second round, guys. I know that Calvin Kattar is a tough guy to put away. He's only knockout was because of his knee. It was a KO TKO because of knee injury. But Garcia packed power, and I feel Garcia of connect, he could put him out. 3 by decision, 14 by KO TKO. So I'm liking Garcia here. I'm going to say Garcia, KO TKO second round, guys. But I'm not confident. No, actually, no, I take that back. 60% for Garcia, 40 for Kattar. Yeah, I'm liking Garcia for this one, guys. All right. Co-main event, we got my boy Stephen Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim. Stephen Thompson, man, super veteran, WCL, the World Kickboxing League, I believe, from Chuck Norris, or World Combat League, way back. Had a lot of kickboxing matches. This guy is well versed, man. World Combat League, that was a Chuck Norris league way back, if you guys remember that. A lot of kickboxing matches, bro. He's got me fighting from 1999, way back. He's just competing. Very good striker. I feel one of the best strikers in MMA, and I follow the UFC. Counter striking at the karate base, similar to myself. In and out, counter striking, very versatile, hard to hit, but sniper. But he's fighting Gabriel Bonfim, and he's fighting the other brother who has the height and the reach, similar to Thompson. This Bonfim brother is well-rounded. Striking is not on the level of Thompson, but he can still strike. And the thing about this brother here, he's grown. This brother possesses, the better ground game with more submissions and just more versatile. Thompson struggled a lot with takedowns. To stop the takedowns. And bigger cage. You're not fighting the apex. This brother got 13 by submission, so this is the better brother out of the Bonfim, I believe. And he will find a way to get you to the ground, but he can also gas out. But Thompson, yeah, Thompson can win this. He's a veteran and he can win, but he got to put up mad pace in Gabriel. And Thompson's more of a counter strike. You want to counter, unless Thompson move forward and just put a high pace to get Bonfim tired. If he ain't getting Bonfim tired or putting a pace in him, I believe Bonfim's going to take him down, man. I mean, that is what I see. I mean, I favor Thompson. If I was being biased, I'll go for Thompson. But, which, I'm rooting for Thompson to win. Because Thompson's my boy. But at the same time, I feel this brother here, his ground game is pretty legit, man. And we see Thompson, at this point right now, he struggles a lot, stopping takedowns. Especially against a guy that's seasoned in it, that's good with the ground. It's not like Bonfim is not good. He'll find a way to double, single, tie you up, and pull you to the ground. You get your back, just whatever submissions he can lock up, which he has a couple of different kind of submissions, guillotines, shoulder choke, triangle choke, rear naked choke. This guy is versatile with the ground, man. The majority of his wins is the ground, dude. Thompson can sniper him though, but Thompson gonna have to do that quick. You have to sniper him quickly. Because Thompson seemed to get better as a fight going. Once you start getting his groove and kind of read the opponent, kind of feel him out. But I'm gonna go for Bonfim, guys. And I don't want to be biased here, but I have to go with Bonfim. I say Bonfim by submission in the first round. But for me, it's an even fight, and I do believe that Thompson can win. But man, I mean, we're looking at the height, reach, and we're looking at he's fighting the Bonfim. He's fighting the brother that's known for ground. The height and reach is pretty similar. This Bonfim brother here, he can also strike. It's not like he doesn't possess no striking. He has some striking. Now he just needs to tie up and get the fight to the ground. I believe he can get a submission. So I say Bonfim submission first round, guys. But I'm not confident. Alright. Next fight here, guys. We got main fight, Derek Lewis versus Tallison Teixeira. This one could be a tricky one here because we're dealing with Derek Lewis with full pack power. Take one shot, you're out. Kind of brawl a little bit at times. Can get taken down, but he will take your head off, man. So you can't really sleep on Lewis. But what I see from Teixeira, though, I'm kind of impressed with Teixeira. 4-inch of height, 4-inch of reach, which is massive. And this kid has potential. Still kind of young in the game, by his age and number, but but this kid can strike and the pack power, and I know it's 8-0. We're looking at a guy like Black Beast, Derek Lewis, who fought everybody. If you look at 28-12 against 8-0, it's like. But if you look at Derek Lewis is just win one, lose one, win one, lose one. A guy like Teixeira, is supposed to. I guess he can beat him. He can catch him. This fight is even in my eyes. I just feel Teixeira possesses the tools. He has a nasty head kick, his jab, his follow-up, body kicks. He has the tools. Derek Lewis is going to probably come in and brawl and, try to take him head off with one shot. Derek has a puncher's chance. Don't get it wrong. But I just feel Teixeira has the tools. But while he's doing that, if Derek catches him, Derek could knock him out. But it's just like I just feel Teixeira has the tools. As far as a prospect is concerned, he has the tools to beat Derek Lewis, man. So I got to go with Derek Lewis on this one. Not Derek Lewis. I got to go with Teixeira on this one. I just feel Teixeira has the tools, dude. I can't overlook that. I'm picking Derek Lewis. Yeah, veteran, have a lot of wins, fight tough guys, championship guys, beat them, lose to a lot of them. But what has he been doing now? Yeah, he beat Nazamento, who is no more in the UFC. But I just feel like Teixeira has tools more than Rogero. I feel Teixeira has more tools than Marcos Lima. Marcos Lima is good, but I feel like he has more too. The guys that Derek beat, I feel Teixeira is skill. I feel Teixeira is more skilled than Chris Ducos. You know, Curtis Blades, as far as the striking, I feel Teixeira is a better striker. It's just the tools that Teixeira, possesses. I feel can give Derek Lewis problems. So I go Teixeira, KO TKO guys in the first round. But if you got a guy like Teixeira, all these fights are first round finishes, man. We're into a decision here in a modified rule in kickboxing though. But all these MMA fights, it's all first round. So fight like this, guys, I'll be careful. I would say Lewis has a puncher's chance, definitely. Catches Teixeira, possibly could knock him out. So it's not a fight that you want to mess around with it too much. People will say, oh, Black Beast, more experienced, but Teixeira has the tools to beat him. It's not like Teixeira is going in there just winging punches. The guy has sniper-like striking, hide and reach. So I cannot overlook that. Experience, maybe not. First round finishes. How does it look out of first round? I don't know. This is the thing. That could be the mystery, where you can, probably slide it to Derek. It's a 5-round fight. Favors Derek, right? Sure it does. But Teixeira has the tools, though. He has the tools. So we see what happened there, guys. But I'll go Teixeira, KO TKO first round. I'm not confident at all. Zero confidence, all right? Quick look at the odds here, guys. See what we're working with. Crazy odds. Crazy odds. Oh, let's see here. Fatima, what the hell? Oh, man. 1,200, dude. Like I said, guys, Melissa Martinez can win. She has the striking. She has the kickboxing, the movement to touch up Fatima. And if Fatima is unable to take her down, could be problems. Because I feel that Melissa has a lateral. Kind of like a Stephen Thompson. Touch her, touch, go. Do the hidden and avoid getting hit. You know what I'm saying? So the odds like this, freaking crazy. I wouldn't put Kline in no place. Just whatever you're doing with it, I'd rather probably go dog, to be honest with you. But I like Fatima because of the well-rounded, but not no 1,200 and something. No, man. Kennedy on Walker. Kennedy at 200 and something. Nope, because Kennedy would drop the ball. Walker could catch him with a submission. I disagree with this odd too. Davis at 900 and something against Mitch. If David's coming there, the Davis that usually, fights, the Davis that I know, not the one that fought Zaim. He should win the fight, but I still be careful. Edora and Lauren Murphy. Damn, Edora's at 6. These odds are nuts, dude. Edora's at 600 and something, bro. With women fights, if it's not Valentino or Amanda Nunes or Cyborg on them, I don't like to see the odds so high, man. Especially on Edora. It's just not well tested, and Lauren is a veteran, dude. The odds are here are jacked up, bro. Dog or pass, man. I wouldn't mess around with that either, man. What's up with the odds in these cards, dude? Chetty and Jake, perfect. Don't disagree, because either guy could win, but I like Jake. Chris Curtis and Max Griffin Chris Curtis at 300 and something. Next one I'd be careful with. Chris Curtis is a veteran, and Max is a veteran, so I could see. I like Chris Curtis because I feel the way how Max is going to fight is going to favor Chris. But I still be careful, but I can see what the odds is 3, so it's not so bad, but I still be careful. But the rest of the odds in this, other than Chetty and Jake, freaking bananas, dude. Davis, I could see. But the rest of them, is especially the women fight, is freaking crazy. Because those women are not tested, dude. There's no way, man. It doesn't make sense. Tafo and Tokos. Tafo 180, that's the next one too. Because Tafo, he dropping down in weight, yeah, but it's a guy that can drop the ball too, man. But I see from Toko, I was not impressed with his skill. I feel like Tafo is a better fighter, better striker. But, again, Tafo will drop the ball though, so you still got to be careful. Austin Lane, Vitor at 650. I mean, I could see why. I mean, I feel Vitor is a way better fighter. Just hands down. Again, anything could happen in a fight, but I feel Vitor is a better fighter. Nate, Landwehr, and Morgan. Damn, they're high on Morgan like that. I mean, I'm liking Nate. I can see why Morgan, Morgan more athletic, more explosive in that kind of way. But Nate is explosive too. But I'm liking Nate. I'll be careful with this one. I do believe that Nate can put a pace on Morgan. So I wouldn't have Morgan so high, dude. I would actually make this fight. I'll make this fight even because I like it. I'm going the underdog. I'm going with Nate, dude. So be careful with that one. Steve Garcia and Cutter. They got Steve Garcia 135, 150. All right, I don't disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? Cutter is still a skilled guy, but he hasn't been producing. He hasn't been, showing anything recently. It's the same thing over and over again. He's not bringing anything new. It's the same thing over and over and over. He's not improving, right? Garcia is improving. So at 135, 141 is decent. You know what I mean? But I like Garcia, right? Bonfim and Thompson. Bonfim at 400 and something. Against Stephen Thompson. I'll be careful with that one too, man. Bonfim, overall though, his record is not bad. So the guy has some skills and experience on him though. But I think more of the grappling thing is going to play a factor here. And we know Thompson struggles a little bit, can struggle with the ground. He's been submitted one time. So I can see why. But against a veteran like Thompson, I still be careful because Thompson will surprise you. Like I said, bias pick, I would go for Thompson. I'm rooting for Thompson, but at the same time, it's just... You break down the fight and watch the fights and check out the guy's skill set and the weaknesses and strengths. I gotta go with Bonfim, and that's why Bonfim is 400 or something, bro. But I would be careful, very, very careful, because Thompson, you never know, he could come in there and sniper him. So, is the odds high on Bonfim? Not really, man, because Bonfim, path to victory here is submission and ground. You know what I mean? And Thompson, durability-wise, couple knee surgeries already. Believe he had like maybe 2 on one leg, 3 on the other leg. Both knees have surgery. I mean, it's still moving, okay and look good in there still, but it's just he's fighting a guy that's, his path to victory is mostly on the ground. That's his high path to victory. 13 by submission, dude. It's not like, Bonfim is coming in there with only striking. He's going to look to double, single, look to tie up, put against a cage, sweep you, and all these things. So, yeah. Derek Lewis and Teixeira 200 and something. I'll be careful with this one, man. This fight here I put even because Derek Lewis has a one puncher's chance, and Derek Lewis has that power. He has that power. He does it all the time to just finish it with one hit. Teixeira has the tools though. He has the tools everywhere. Kicking, punching, sniper-like, quick. You know what I mean? At times it seems like he could be hittable though. You can catch him with shots. So if Derek Lewis can catch him and could put him out, especially big guys like this. And especially experience-wise. Lewis is experienced, so Teixeira shouldn't be 200 or something. So that's kind of like a red flag. But he possessed the tools though. But experience, and also Teixeira hasn't been out of the first round. 5-round fight, guys. This fight is one of them fights where it's a question mark and it can go anywhere. If Derek Lewis can weather the storm, it could be a problem. And you see Teixeira get tired, problems, man. But let's see what happens. But I disagree on the odds. But that's it right there, guys. Those are the odd breakdowns there. The odds are bananas in Discord. It's the fights are ridiculous odds, man. It's like shouldn't be so high on especially the women fights like that. It shouldn't be so high, man. And just doesn't make any sense, Like I believe Melissa can win. Murphy could possibly win just off of experience, but I feel Mora should have that. Kennedy will drop the ball. And Walker could submit him. So, I'm saying just some of those fights, Max could win. It's a possibility. But most likely Chris may get that. Lewis can knock out Teixeira, put him in the deep water and drown him. Thompson beating Bonfim, it would be like a sniper-like thing, but I feel Bonfim possibly get the submission. Garcia should win. Nate, I feel, can beat Morgan. Vitor, I feel, will beat Lane. And Tafa should beat Tuckus. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, guys. You know, these cards are sometimes, you know, a lot of them is like question mark. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing guaranteed here, man. You know, it's just predictions, and we see where it goes. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's just part of life, you know. In this game we're playing, you know, you're always going to have your ups and downs, man. But it's to keep a steady mind, keep the focus, look within yourself, because, you know, there's you versus you, and just stay disciplined. Keep the consistency going. Even if you don't feel good sometimes, some days you may not feel the best, always remember that that's in just that moment right now that you're not doing well. It's only moments, but that don't mean that a couple of hours or the next day or whatever, you know, you know that you may not feel better. So, you know, sometimes we struggle with things in our mind which affect the body. Because the mind, you know, what you put in your head does affect the body. You know what I'm saying? And what you think about it, your thoughts create your reality. That's why you gotta be careful what you pay attention to. So once you understand that, okay, this is for the moment right now, I may not be feeling great, I may not be doing as well, but that doesn't mean that a couple of hours later on I will feel better. You know, you catch your breath, go for a walk, do some exercise, eat healthier foods, which plays a big factor, and lower your lower your distractions. You know, what you're paying attention to. Because sometimes distractions take up a lot of your time, and focus your energy on what you're working on by going within yourself. Do meditation. You know what I'm saying? Shut off the noise around you. I do that a lot. Sometimes I go away and just spend hours by myself, just meditating, doing my katas, doing my martial arts, breath work, earthing, just spending time with myself, you know, turn off the phone. You know, I may make a video here and there, you know, but I try not to pay attention to too many outside sources, because a lot of times, a lot of those things are just there to distract you and pull you away from what you're doing. All right. So one love out to everybody, man. You guys keep on kicking, and leave your comments down below. Let me know what your guys' picks are. But the odds on this cards, it's bananas. But again, we're dealing with a lot of guys who could, you know, be 1 foot out the door. You know, a lot of them, look at the age though, but age a number, you know, but a lot of them been through wars, took a lot of damage and so forth. So you know what to expect. But again, these are veterans and they could win. So be careful. One love, guys.